Welcome to Unbiased Sports. This is another weekend Premier League roundup. And yeah, listen, first of all, hit that like button, get involved in the comments. When this goes up in as a video, get involved in the comments. I'll be replying to everyone in there. And let's talk about some football and talk about everything that's been going on. Make sure you subscribe, share, all that good stuff. The like button really does help us. It helps us get the videos out there, grow and etc. But yeah, listen, this weekend was full packed once again of craziness, of um, moments, should we say, blunders, errors, everything that you can talk about. Some good performances in there, some great comebacks in there, some great goals in there. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. Um, for me, it was a great weekend being an Arsenal fan. Um, Obviously, Arsenal won, but we'll get onto that. But I really want to start on the main talking point right now. And that main talking point is Erling Haaland and City fuming after drawing 3-3 with a Spurs team that are riddled with injuries away from, like, obviously, City were at home. No one gave Spurs a chance. But once again, it proves the fact of the matter is Spurs is just Man City's bogey team. And it's as simple as that. And if Spurs fans want to agree with that or not, they can or they can't. But there's nothing wrong with being their bogey team. It just means that they seem to always struggle against you. It might be a thing in their head, or a thing in Spurs players' heads where this thing has happened. Like, I don't know, but it's honest to God, every season Spurs out of everyone will get something out of City, and Spurs can sit there and say, "Oh, it's just because we're this and that," but then you drop points to other teams that no one drops points to. So it's swings and roundabouts. But it seems that Spurs always have one up on City, and although Spurs drew the game, that is like a win for Spurs because they lost their last 3 games. They needed to get something out of something, and it was City, that was in front of them. So with all their injuries away from home, a Spurs fan would have snatched your hand off at a draw before the game. They would have, if you offered them that, they would have said, yes, we'll take that 100%. It keeps them in the mix, keeps them from not falling away, definitely with Villa dropping points. And obviously City would also drop points. So yeah, listen, Spurs done their job and they got their points. But listen, there was a huge moment in the game, and it was a wild moment. But it was a moment that I want to speak on briefly because I don't think it's as big a moment as some people are making out it is. It is quite a big moment. But Man City is 3-3 right near the end of the game. Basically, Haaland goes to get the ball. He gets taken out by the Tottenham player. Then he gets up and gets the ball. The ref waves his hands to say play on. He plays the ball through to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish gets the ball in front of all the defenders. Seems to be looking like he's going to be going one-on-one. And the ref blows the whistle for the foul and brings it back. There is no excuse for this. Like there is no way they can spin this to me other than either that guy just don't know what he's doing as a ref, therefore he should not ref another Premier League game this season, or there is cheating involved. Because for me, if I'm being perfectly honest, you can't do that. That's not an error. An error would have been that Haaland got up, hit the ball over, and he just blew the whistle as it was happening, and he didn't play the advantage whatsoever. That is an error. This, there has to be looked into. This is more than an error because you have told the player to play on. You have he had the whistle near his mouth to blow for it. He decided not to, the correct decision, and he played advantage. He put his hand forward. As you see, and everyone sees in the stadium, and everyone watching at home, and the ref can see, and the players can see, the move actually developed into an opportunity to actually score. Like, it would have been a phenomenal piece of advantage from the referee to let it go on and then City go and score. And then when you've seen that, you've blown the whistle, which can only tell me what? you didn't want City to score. That's the only thing. That's the only way I can actually look at it. It's crazy. I'm not even a City fan. I'm happy City dropped points. It was such a catch-22 game for me, man. Because the thing is with me, I want Tottenham to take points off City because I think City are the biggest threat to Arsenal. But I just don't like watching Tottenham get anything but L's. So it was like, it's just there, like whatever, man. So a draw wasn't even was probably a better result for me, if anything. So yeah, listen, Man City, Man City again. Like, let's not even use that as an excuse. They really ain't looking the same team, man. At the back, they're just looking open. We look so much more solid than them. This might be City's year, man. City's year where and a lot of people have said it that there's a reason that 4 in a row hasn't been done before. It's just too much mental power for a set of players, and maybe this is what we're seeing this season. We know they can click into gear. We could be talking all this now, and then in 3 months' time, we're saying, "Oh my God, City are top again. They're running away with it." We all know this, but what I will say is there is some fatigue in that team mentally. The defending errors that they're making this season, you've never seen Man City make them in the past 3 years. The record against the top teams this season is abysmal from Man City. They haven't won yet. They haven't won. They drew with Tottenham. They drew with Chelsea, I think. They beat, or did they draw with Liverpool or beat Liverpool? I can't remember. Either way, they've lost to Arsenal. So yeah, listen, Man City, like something's up there, and they got to look at themselves. They can't fully blame the ref. And when I say that, it's not as bad as like I think the one for Arsenal against Newcastle, and there's been a couple more this season. The Liverpool one against Spurs, they're the worst ones because there is a goal that has actually come from that, and you've actually made the mistake there. This, at the end of the day, Grealish still could have run through on goal and missed. There is a possibility of that. Of course, it still don't make it right, but there is a possibility of that. It's not like he scored the goal as he took the shot and scored the goal. The ref blew his whistle, and then he was like, "Boy, it don't count because I've blown my whistle," you know. So yeah, they'll have to look at themselves and how they let Spurs get back into that game. But fair play to Spurs. Everyone wrote them off, myself included, mate. Myself included. I thought that Spurs weren't going to get nothing out of this game. I thought that there was a potential they'll get battered, but they didn't. And they'll go again. But it's only Spurs that will do that. Lose 3 winnable games just to go and get points off a City after 3 losses is nuts. But fair play. Listen, it's nice for Arsenal. Liverpool are happy, which brings me on to the next talking point. No, sorry. First of all, I want to go back onto one thing. The way Haaland and Diaz and Kovacic were screaming in the referee's face, the way Pep Guardiola felt robbed and felt angry, and he said something in his press conference. Yes, he might have been calm demeanor-wise, but what he was saying was the ref cost us. He can't understand what the ref's done. The ref's made an error, this and that. I agree with everything that City done. 100% City deserve to moan. They deserve to call out the officiating and the mistake, and they deserve to feel hard done by and angry. But all I'm seeing from pundits and people on social media is them agreeing with me. Now, the problem I have with all of them agreeing with me is that when it was Arsenal Football Club or certain other teams, there wasn't the same energy. People weren't saying, that's right. That's right. They weren't agreeing with me. They weren't agreeing with other people that say that we have a right to moan. The manager has a right to say something. And that is where the issue lies. Why is there double standards? Why do every Premier League team not get treated the same way? Is it the hate? Is it that people can't stand it's Arsenal? Because like they dislike Arsenal so much that they can't agree with anything Arsenal do. They can't give any praise to Arsenal or whatsoever or anything like that. I don't know. But it is disgraceful that this level is not kept level across the whole Premier League. It's disgraceful. For me, I say it like this. Everyone has agreed with City. And I want everyone to do that because I think that is the right thing to do. They should be moaning. They should be allowed to shout and scream when someone's made an error. The same way us fans are allowed to shout and scream at the players and the managers when they make an error. So for me, all I say is when it next happens to another team, keep the same energy. If another situation like this happens to Arsenal and they call out the refs, don't go on and berading Arsenal and saying Arsenal are disgraceful, Arsenal are childish, Arsenal are this, Arsenal that. Agree the way you've agreed with City, and that's how we stop half this refereeing crap that goes on in the Premier League. Honestly, it is a joke. The refereeing is a joke in this league, and it's just annoying. And listen, this is Spurs' second big game that they've got something out of due to not guarantee, but a big help from refereeing errors, and that was the Liverpool one, and that was this one. So no wonder their manager don't like moaning about the refs, bruv, because he gets so many decisions go his way. So listen, on to the next point, and that is Liverpool Football Club and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now listen, Trent Alexander-Arnold, fair play to that lad. You know why? Because he gets so much stick, so much crap, so much hate by so many fans. He's not good. He's not good enough. He's rubbish at the back. He's this, he's that, he's that, he's this. So many, so many fans rip into him, and pundits and stuff rip into him because of his defensive abilities and that, and how that everyone always gives him credit for him going forward and that, but they laugh at him as a player and that. And he's starting, and he's a player that you don't ever see him come out to the media and say, "Oh, like I feel like people shouldn't be getting on to me." You don't see him throwing his toys out the pram like certain players, like Marcus Rashford and players like this. And I'll call it as I see it. I like Marcus Rashford as a player. I think he's overrated. I think he's average. I like him though. He's all right, but he's been acting disgraceful. And Trent Alexander-Arnold done none of this. And now look, he's finding his feet in a new position. He's finding his feet in a new system, and he's starting to look phenomenal again. He's starting to look like Trent of 2-3 years ago, when you're like, "Oh, this boy, he's going to be something great." And I do think, and I said, I wish I had footage of me saying this about a year and a half, 2 years ago, roughly when his fall off started and that, when he had the braids and all that. I was there saying Trent Alexander-Arnold's career and mainstay in football is in midfield. That is where you'll get the best out of Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's where you'll see a real player emerge. I think he's wasted at right back because his defensive attributes do not suit that. I always said Trent Alexander-Arnold's defending's not the worst. It's just the type of defending down the wing with fast players, tricky players right on the wing and that, and you got to show him. He just don't deal with that well. Put him in the midfield, and all of a sudden his defending will look a lot better because he ain't dealing with the same type of defense. It's not the same type of defending. Plus, he's probably not going to be asked to do as much, and he'll have people like Van Dijk behind him, another right back behind him, and he's at a place where his attributes can shine. Get the ball, spray it left, spray it right, run forward in the box, passing it, assisting, getting a goal, taking a free kick. And this is seemed to be what's going on right now. And listen, fair play to him. Fair play to Trent. He's doing well. Fair play to Liverpool. They're doing well. Listen, Liverpool are only doing a little bit worse than Arsenal. They've got one more draw. We have the most wins in the league, the only team to have 10 wins this season. And yeah, but Liverpool have one draw more than Arsenal. And it's funny because Liverpool and Arsenal are first and second right now. Both have one loss apiece. And both of us with only one loss, it's a controversial loss that may have been influenced, or was in, should I say, influenced by VAR's mistakes. Liverpool shouldn't have lost to Spurs, and we shouldn't have lost to Newcastle. Not saying neither team should have won their games. A fair result might have been a draw, but both teams really shouldn't have a loss on their record, and that's nuts. So I feel like them, Arsenal and Liverpool are really, really, really in for a shout this season of winning this Premier League. City obviously are always in a shout. I think it's between the three. I think it's going to be so interesting. But as a fan of Arsenal, obviously, and that the tensions will rise and it will get scary. Liverpool are phenomenal. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Liverpool, their biggest test will be when Mo Salah goes to AFCON. That will be their biggest the biggest time for them. They've lost Allison at the moment. We'll see how that goes, because obviously, although we're going to go into the result now, they won this game. It wasn't as clear cut as they would have liked it to be. Yeah, listen, Liverpool, great 2 goals by Trent. They were 3-2 down in like the 86th minute, and we're by the 87th minute they were winning 4-3. Capitulation by Fulham. 2 goals in a matter of seconds. 2 goals, like it was literally instantaneous 2 goals. It's nuts, really. It's nuts to think that Fulham actually done that. And listen, Fulham, there's a reason they're 14th right now. There's something wrong there. And it just shows, like, when a team is playing well, the luck of the green seems to rub off on them. And Liverpool burnt the rub of the green, and they've not even the rub of the green, but like they were 3-2 down and they've won the game. That is a big, big, big result for them. And listen, that's the same as Arsenal nicking that one at Brentford last week, in a sense. That one's probably a bit more crazy. They scored 2 goals in a matter of minutes to win the game. But yeah, but what Liverpool will be thinking is, are they vulnerable? They've conceded 3 goals to Fulham. Although you've won the game, you've conceded 3 goals, which is never great. You never want to concede 3 goals. I never want to see Arsenal concede 3 goals unless you're winning. Not even if you're winning 5-6-3. I don't want to see 3 goals going in our net unless you're playing maybe a City, maybe a Liverpool, and you win the game. It's not too bad. But yeah, listen, Liverpool, well done. Second in the league now, 2 points off top. It's going to be interesting when Arsenal meet Liverpool on Boxing Day. Is it Boxing Day or Christmas Eve? It's one of the two. It's the big one. It's the big one. That one, and now with the FA Cup draw being Arsenal versus Liverpool, Liverpool and Arsenal are playing each other 3 times in like 5 weeks or something like that. That's nuts. Oh man, that's so nuts. But what I'm going to say is 2 wins and a draw out of them 3, and I'm happy. I'll take a draw at Anfield, and then both FA Cup win and win at the Emirates 100%. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see on that match. It's gonna be good. But going into the other team that I wanted to talk about, and the other game I wanted to talk about is Arsenal. Obviously, I've done my match reaction. It was a quick one. I'll be quick here. Arsenal go marching on, another win when the pressure's on, and they're the first team to play. They win. They let City and Liverpool go into their games knowing they've got to win, or Arsenal are getting further ahead. And look, City ended up dropping points, man. 2 points now. Listen, the gap grows a little bit and a little bit. You know you need one. Damn. But yeah, listen. Arsenal go marching on, another win, another nice performance. It wasn't the best, obviously 2-1 to Wolves. That makes it sound a bit more close than it was. It was a dominating performance by Arsenal. They've looked dominating all season. They've looked structured at the back all season. They look like the most solid fit this season, in my opinion. Liverpool and City may look more like they can kill teams off. I 100% agree. If you're looking at the top 3 and you're thinking, yeah, Liverpool and City, they can kill teams off, man. They have that in their locker. 100%. So do Arsenal, but City and Liverpool show it a bit more, and that's why people think City and Liverpool right now have a better chance. But for me, defense wins you leagues, baby. Yeah, and Arsenal's defense is phenomenal right now. Obviously, Liverpool's defense has been really great too, but they are an injury to Van Dijk away from that being very sticky. I know you could say the same with Arsenal and Saliba, it's true, but I think we've got a bit more to cope back there than Liverpool. And also with Liverpool, I think Van Dijk's older. He's probably more likely to grab an injury than a Saliba, but you never know. So, but listen, that could be what this season goes down to, man. Some injuries, some unluckiness, but we'll have to wait and see. Chelsea won against with 10 men. They won against Brighton, but Brighton had a lot of missing players, a lot of players on the bench. They rested a lot of players, so it was yeah. Chelsea's managed to get it a penalty that was never a penalty in my opinion. The Mudryk penalty, never a penalty, but you go on and you go forth. And then, yeah, listen, there was another big game that I want to quickly touch on, and that was Newcastle versus Manchester United. Manchester United. Yeah, Manchester United are a shell of Manchester United right now when I'm watching them. That game was abysmal, although they only lost 1-0. Here's the difference, yeah. You look at two games, Arsenal versus Newcastle versus Arsenal, and Man United, Newcastle versus Man United. Both games ended 1-0, two parallel games. Arsenal should never have conceded. It was a mistake from the referee, and Arsenal were in the whole game. It wasn't an easy game, but they were both in the game. And let's be honest, Newcastle did not turn up to try and win like that game in a sense, the way they were playing. Um, they were trying to just hold out and then get a chance, and they done that. Fair play. But against Man United, they were dominant. I think they had like 23 shots. They were all over them. Man United are lucky it was only 1-0. Marcus Rashford appalling again. Martial appalling again. Hoyland no go again. Maguire, one of the better players on the pitch again. Onana didn't have a bad game. I was gonna say again, but nah, he didn't have a bad game. Wan-Bissaka getting beaten back post again. It's watching Man United is like watching a repeat video every week of the performances, mate. They're fucking shocking. They have one little odd good one. Like I wonder, and I said this to one of my mates. I reckon that if Garnacho don't score that type of goal that he scored against Everton, Man United may have struggled in that game. I think that the thing is with football is it's very a mind thing, like mental thing. And the fact that Garnacho early doors scored one of the best goals you'll see, gassed up the team so much, and then made Everton players are just getting dejected, saying not only are we fucking got 10-point deduction, but this guy's now come and scored an absolute weldy and gone ahead now, and now we got to come from behind, and that is what happens. Man United have been shocking this year in Premier League and in Champions in Champions League. In the Premier League, they've been picking up results, but they've not been great. They've not been good in any of them games. Fair enough, you've got to get the result. That is kept them at bay and kept them in the mix. And they're still there. They're still in the mix. Don't worry. I have this sneaky feeling that these motherfuckers might end up getting Champions League somehow. But listen, they've got to be putting in better performances. They need to sort something out. Rashford, mate, like he needs to be dropped. He is shocking. And I told people this. And I was on a stream not long ago with a couple of Man United fans, and I said it. I said, and they disagreed with me. I said that Rashford is an average player. He's a purple patch player where in patches he'll play very, very well. But he goes back to his default after that. It's like, you know what it's like. You know when you play a video game, yeah, and all of a sudden you unlock a reward, and when you unlock that reward, it's like for 20 minutes you get double XP. That is Marcus Rashford. He gets it for 2 months. You've got extremely faster speed. You seem to play better, and you seem to score more goals. And then after them 2 months, he loses his upgrade. His upgrade is cancelled. The time limit has expired and he goes back to a bang average player. I'm telling you now. And people will hate on me for saying this about Marcus Rashford. And I like Marcus Rashford. He's a utility player. He's a player to come off the bench for a top team, mate. He's not a standard Man United need if they want to compete for the league. I'm just saying it. It is, and people will hate on it. And I just see him compared to other players in his position. Anthony Gordon looks better than him. Anthony Gordon deserves to go to the Euros ahead of Marcus Rashford. And it showed in the game. They both played the same game and it's completely different. And it's not this Man United ain't playing good right now. They're not. But Rashford does this all the time. And he's part of the reason that Man United ain't doing good right now because he does nothing in the game. So listen, all I can say is this. Man United need to get the deadwood out before anything changes at the club. That and the ownership, and that is a fact. But listen, and that is a roundup, and that is a wrap. Yeah, that is my weekend roundup of the Premier League. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I'll be replying to all the comments of what you think and what I said. If you agree or disagree with anything, let me know. Thank you very much for tuning in, and you will see me a lot more, and you'll see me on other streams, and we will be talking much, much more about football. Unbiased Sports. Peace.